The village was small, very small. It lay deep inside a thick forest, hidden from the world. Few people knew it existed. Even fewer dared to go there. No roads led to the village. No maps showed its name. If you asked about it, people looked away. Some whispered. Others just shook their heads and walked away. There were stories. Old stories. Stories no one wanted to tell. Not out loud. Not even in the light of day. People said that if you stayed too long in the village after sunset, something would notice you. At night, strange things happened. Lights flickered in the sky. Shadows moved without reason. And some people never came back. They just vanished. 1 minute they were there, walking home, sitting by the fire, talking to friends. The next, they were gone. No scream, no footstep, just silence. And when someone went missing, no one talked about it, not even the family. As if speaking the name of what happened would bring it again. Even the animals avoided the forest at night. In the center of the village stood an old tree, tall, twisted, black leaves. No one went near it, not ever. Kids were told never to play around it. Adults didn't look at it for more than a second. Some said it was cursed. Others believed it was watching. No one knew how old the tree was. Some said it had been there longer than the village. Longer than any man could remember. Under that tree, many years ago, something terrible had happened. But no one spoke of it. Not aloud. A traveller once came to the village. He was lost. Tired. He knocked on a door and asked for food and shelter. The old woman who opened the door looked scared. She gave him bread and water, but did not let him stay. She pointed toward the edge of the forest and told him to leave before sunset. He laughed. "What's so scary about this place?" he asked. The woman did not answer. She only closed the door and locked it tight. The traveller stayed anyway. He thought the villagers were just superstitious, crazy old folks with silly fears. He built a small fire near the edge of the woods. He cooked his food and sang songs to himself. When the sun began to set, he felt cold. Not because of the wind, but because of the silence. It was too quiet. No birds, no crickets, no wind, just silence. Then he heard it, a whisper, soft, close, his name. He turned around fast. No one was there. He packed his things quickly. He wanted to leave, but the forest path was gone. Trees blocked every way out. That night, he screamed. They found his boots the next morning. Nothing else. After that, no one came to the village. Until now. Kyle had heard the stories. His grandfather had warned him never to go there. But Kyle had questions. Questions no one else could answer. So he came. He stepped into the village just as the sun touched the horizon. Behind him, the trees bent slightly in the wind, as if something had seen him and smiled. Kale was not like other travelers. He didn't come for shelter or food. He came for answers. He walked slowly through the village. Dust flew with every step. The road was quiet. Too quiet. People watched him from behind closed windows. Curtains moved. Eyes looked out, then quickly disappeared. No one spoke to him. No one greeted him. An old man sat on a wooden bench near a broken well. He smoked a pipe and did not look at Kyle. Not even once. Kyle stopped in front of him. "Hello," he said. The old man took a long puff from his pipe. Smoke curled into the air like a snake. "You should leave," the old man said. "Voice dry like dead leaves. I just arrived," Kyle replied. "You're here too late. It's still daytime." "That doesn't matter anymore." Kyle frowned. "I'm looking for someone. My grandfather. His name is Eli." At that name, the old man's eyes changed. Just for a second. But Kyle saw it. Fear. The old man stood up slowly. His cane hit the ground with a hard thud. "Eli is gone," he whispered. "Where did he go?" The old man leaned close. His breath smelled like old smoke and rust. He asked questions. "Like you." Then he turned and walked away without another word. Kyle watched him disappear into a house with a locked door and dark windows. It was clear. No one wanted to talk. But Kyle had not come this far to turn back. Night fell quickly in the village. No stars, no moon, just thick clouds and cold air. Kyle found an empty cottage at the edge of the woods. It had no lights and no fire, but it would do. He lit a small candle and opened his bag. Inside were papers, maps, and an old notebook. It belonged to his grandfather. On tea. One page was a drawing of something strange, a stone door covered in symbols. Kyle stared at it. His heart beat fast. He had seen that door before, not in pictures, in dreams, dreams he could not explain. Suddenly the candle went out. Darkness filled the room. Something moved outside. Kyle held his breath. A soft sound, like whispering. His name again. He ran to the window. Nothing there, only the forest, and the trees, and something watching. The next morning, Kyle woke up tired, scared, but he had made his choice. He would find the truth, even if it killed him. He stepped outside and looked toward the forest. The trees stood tall and silent, waiting. Kyle adjusted his backpack and started walking, toward the woods, toward the unknown. Behind him, the village remained quiet, just like always. But deep inside one house, an old woman lit a candle. She whispered a single word. No. Kyle walked into the forest alone. The trees were tall and dark, their branches twisted like broken arms. No birds sang, no wind blew, just silence, thick, heavy silence. As he walked deeper, the light from the sun disappeared. Leaves blocked the sky. The air grew cold. He kept going. He had to. In his backpack was his grandfather's notebook. On one page was a rough map, lines drawn by shaky hands. An arrow pointed towards something labeled. The door. Kyle didn't know what it meant, but he had seen that symbol before, carved into stone, glowing faintly in his dreams. He pushed through bushes and broken branches. His boots sank into wet soil. Something cracked underfoot. A bone. He stopped, looked down. Half buried in the dirt was a human hand, dry, old, frozen in fear. Kyle took a step back. His heart beat fast. He looked around. More bones, scattered, forgotten. Someone, or something, had left them here. Warning signs. But Kyle forced himself to keep moving. He couldn't turn back now. After hours of walking, he saw something strange ahead. A clearing. And in the center, it stood. The door. Tall, black, made of stone no one in the village could have built. Symbols covered its surface. They glowed faintly, red like blood. Kyle stepped closer. Cold wind hit him. The moment he touched the stone, the world changed. The sky turned black. The forest shook. A voice whispered in his head. Not loud, not kind, just one word. Found. Kyle pulled his hand back. He fell to the ground, breathing hard. Behind him something moved. He turned quickly. Nothing there, only shadows. He looked again at the door. Something inside him said, "Open it," but another part screamed, "Run!" He reached out again. This time, the door reacted. Symbols lit up fully. Red light spilled onto the ground. Then came the sound, low, deep, like something waking up after centuries of sleep. A deep growl echoed from behind the door. Kyle backed away. Suddenly, the ground shook. Trees bent. Leaves flew. From the sky above, dark shapes appeared. Birds? No. Too big. Too fast. They circled overhead, then vanished into the clouds. Kyle stood still. He was not alone. Something knew he was here. He packed his things and ran, back through the forest. Branches hit his face. Roots tried to catch his feet. But he kept running. When he finally saw the edge of the woods, he slowed down. The village was close now. But as he stepped into the open, someone grabbed his arm. Hard. Kyle turned fast. It was the old man from the bench, the same one who had warned him. "You shouldn't have gone in," the old man whispered. "I had to," Kyle said. "You woke it." Kyle's breath caught. "What is it?" The old man looked scared, truly scared. "A deal made long ago," he said, "with something not from here." "Aliens?" Kyle asked. The old man nodded slowly. "They came before us, before records, before names. They wanted power, so they gave something their souls. And now—" The old man looked past Kyle toward the forest. "Now it wants more." Kyle felt cold again. He looked back. The forest was silent, waiting, watching. He looked at the old man. "Tell me everything." The old man sighed. "There isn't much time." Kyle followed him toward the village. Behind them, the red glow under the door faded. For now. But deep below the earth, something stirred. Something remembered, and something waited. Kyle sat in the old man's house. Dust covered everything. Old books, broken chairs. A cracked lantern flickered in the corner. The fire was low. The old man stared into it like he could see something Kyle couldn't. Then he spoke. "We were not the first." His voice was soft, but heavy with memory. "The ones who came before us. They reached for the stars," he said. "They called them gods. But they were not." Kyle leaned forward. "Aliens?" he asked. The old man nodded slowly. "They landed long before our village, before any map or name. They were tall, pale, eyes like black glass, and they brought gifts." "What kind of gifts?" The old man looked at Kyle. "Power," he whispered. "But power always comes with a price." Suddenly, the wind howled outside. The lantern flickered, and then the room went dark. Kyle jumped. A cold breeze passed through him, not from the window, from inside. He felt it in his bones. Then came the light, not from fire, from visions. Flash! Kyle saw it. A city, ancient and huge. Towering buildings made of stone and metal. People walking in robes, worshippers. Above them, in the sky, a great shape hovered. Black, vast, with glowing red eyes. It descended. People cheered. They believed. It was a god, but Kyle knew better. This was no god. It was something else, something hungry. Another flash. The people made a pact. They gave their loyalty, their minds, their souls. In return, they got knowledge, power, control over nature itself. But soon, things changed. People began to vanish. Those who questioned the gods disappeared overnight. Others changed, became pale, cold, silent. One man ran. He escaped. The city. He ran and ran until he reached the forest. That forest. Our forest. Flash! The vision ended. Kyle gasped. He was back in the room, cold sweat on his face. The old man watched him carefully. "You saw it," he said, not as a question, as a fact. Kyle nodded slowly. "How did I—" "The artifact," the old man said. "It shows the past to those who touch it." Kyle looked at his hands. He still felt the fear of that man who had run, the last one free. He remembered the symbol carved into the door. Now he understood its meaning. It wasn't just a warning. It was a grave for the entire city. Destroyed by its own greed. "They buried the truth," Kyle whispered. The old man nodded. "The door is not just a gate. It is a seal. A seal." "For what?" The old man looked sad. "For the thing that took them." Kyle swallowed hard. "And now I woke it up." Silence. Outside, the wind howled again. Something was moving in the forest. Low growls echoed in the Distance. Kale stood up. We need to leave, he said. No, the old man said. We need to prepare. For what? To fight. Kale stared at him. But we don't even know what we're fighting. The old man looked at him with tired eyes. We will soon. At that moment, a sound came from the window. Soft, like something tapping. Kale turned. Outside, in the dark, stood a figure. Tall, thin, eyes glowing red, watching, waiting. Then it vanished, into the trees. Kale's heart beat fast. It knows I'm here. The old man stood. Yes, he said. And it never forgets. The night grew colder after the figure disappeared into the trees. Kale stood by the window, heart pounding like a drum. He could still feel its eyes on him, red, cold, and silent. Something was coming, and it was close. The old man lit more candles. Their flickering light cast long shadows on the walls. He moved, slowly, carefully, like a man who had seen too much and lived to tell no one. Kyle turned to him. What was that? He asked. The old man didn't look at him. He just kept lighting candles. A watcher, he said finally. It doesn't attack, yet. It only watches. Kyle swallowed hard. Then why do I feel like it already knows me? The old man looked up. His eyes were full of something deeper than fear. Because it does, he said. Once you touch the door, once you see the past, it sees you back. And it never forgets. Outside, the wind howled again. The trees creaked like old bones. Then came another sound, a low hum, like something waking up deep below the earth. Kyle felt it in his feet first, a gentle shake, then stronger, like footsteps, heavy, slow, moving under the ground. The old man dropped the candle. No, he whispered. Kyle looked around. What's happening? The seal is breaking, the old man said. It's awake. They ran outside. The village was dark. No lights from any house. Everyone knew what this meant. They all hid. Kyle looked toward the forest. Something was wrong. The trees weren't moving with the wind. They stood still, too still. Then, without warning, the sky cracked. Not lightning, no thunder, just silence. And then, lights. Red lights, falling from the sky. One landed near the edge of the woods, another behind the old well, and another near the cursed tree. Each light pulsed once, then went dark. Silence again. Kyle turned to the old man. What are those? The old man's face was pale. They're not falling, he said. They're waking. Before Kale could ask more, a scream echoed through the village. A woman's scream from the far end. Kale ran toward it. The old man followed, breathing hard. They reached the house. The door was wide open. Inside, everything was broken. But there was no body, only a trail of black smoke leading out the back door. Kale stepped inside. The air was cold. Wrong. On the floor, burned into the wood, was the same symbol from the door, red, glowing faintly. Kale knelt down. The moment his fingers touched it, pain shot through his head. More visions, this time louder, colder. He saw the creature, tall, thin, with eyes like fire. It stood over people, whispering things into their ears. They listened, smiled, then vanished like smoke. One man tried to run. The creature raised a hand. The man melted, bone to dust. Flash! Kyle fell back, gasping. The old man caught him. You saw it, didn't you? He asked. Kyle nodded, shaking. It's not just taking them. It's feeding on them. The old man looked sad. It feeds on fear, on greed, on belief. That's how it grows. Kyle stood slowly. We have to stop this. The old man shook his head. There's no stopping it now. Not alone. Kyle looked back at the forest, at the red lights, at the silence. I won't leave, he said. Not until I know the truth. Not until I fight back. The old man looked at him for a long time. Then he said softly, "Then you'll need help." Outside, a new sound filled the night. Whispers coming from every direction, calling his name. Kyle looked up. The stars above were gone, replaced by something else. Something watching, waiting, coming closer. The night had changed, and so had he. Kale stood in the dark, the whispers still curling around him like smoke. They came from everywhere and nowhere, soft, cold, calling his name. He tried to shake them off, but they clung to his thoughts like spiders on a web. The old man pulled him back toward the house. "We don't have much time," he whispered. "You need to know the rest." Kyle followed without a word. His head still throbbed from the vision. His body felt heavy, like it knew something bad was coming. Inside, the fire had died. The old man lit a candle. Its shaky light filled the dusty room. He went to a hidden drawer under the floorboards. With trembling hands, he pulled out a small, wooden box. He opened it. Inside was a necklace. Old, made of black stone, with red lines running through it, like veins. Kyle stared at it. "I've seen this before," he said quietly. The old man nodded. "Your grandfather wore it too." Kyle looked up fast. "My grandfather?" The old man handed him the necklace. "This is why you are here," he said. "Why you can see the truth. Why the creature sees you as more than just prey." Kale held the necklace in his hand. It pulsed once, like a heartbeat. "What do you mean?" Kale asked. The old man took a deep breath. "Your bloodline made the first deal," he said. "Long ago, before any of us were born, your family gave their loyalty to the creature. In return, they received power, knowledge. But over time, your ancestors turned against it, tried to run, to hide." Kale's mouth went dry. "So, I'm one of them?" "No," the old man said quickly. "But your blood still speaks its language. You can open the door. You can hear its voice. And worst of all, it needs you." Kyle stepped back. "No," he said. "I didn't ask for this." "But it asked for you," the old man replied. Outside, the wind howled louder. Trees creaked. Shadows danced on the walls. Kyle looked down at the necklace again. "You're saying I can control it?" he asked. The old man shook his head. "No," he said, "but it can use you, if you're not careful." Kyle clenched his fists. "I won't let it take me," he said, "or anyone else." The old man watched him closely. "There is a way," he said after a pause. Kyle looked up. "A way to stop it?" The old man nodded slowly. "The seal can be closed again, but only by someone who knows both worlds, the human world and the one beyond the door." Kale swallowed hard. "That's me," the old man sighed. "Yes, and that makes you either our only hope or its final key." Kale put on the necklace. It felt cold against his skin. Suddenly, pain shot through his head. Another vision, this time stronger. He saw the village as it was long ago, not empty, not silent, full of life, and then the sky split. The creature came. People fell to their knees. They worshipped it. One man stood tall, Kyle's ancestor. He raised his hand. A symbol burned into the air, red, glowing. Then came the voice. "You cannot break what you built." The vision ended. Kyle gasped. He fell to his knees. The old man caught him. "You saw it, didn't you?" he asked. Kale nodded, shaking. "It wasn't just my family," he whispered. "We helped build the door." Silence. Then footsteps. Outside. Soft. Slow. Something was near. Kale stood up. His body felt different. Now. Stronger. Connected. He looked at the old man. "I have to go back," he said. "To the forest? To the door." The old man's face turned pale. "You can't," he said. "Not alone." Kyle looked toward the window. The shadows were moving faster now, calling, waiting. He touched the necklace, spoke softly. I was born for this. Then he stepped outside, into the night, toward the forest, toward the truth. Kale walked through the forest alone. The necklace burned against his chest like a fire inside his skin. Every step felt heavier, like something was pulling him down, toward the door, toward the truth. Behind him, the village was silent, not just quiet, but gone. No lights, no smoke, no sound, as if it had never been there. He didn't look back. He couldn't. The trees twisted around him now. Roots rose like fingers trying to grab his boots. Shadows moved without light. He kept walking until he saw it again. The door, glowing red, humming with power, waiting for him. He placed his hand on the stone. The symbols lit up. The ground shook. A voice filled his head. You have returned. Not in anger, not in joy, just knowing. The door opened slowly. Cold air rushed out. Darkness poured onto the ground. Kyle stepped inside. It was not a room, not a cave. It was a place that did not belong to Earth. Black sky above. Red clouds swirling. Tall ruins stood like broken teeth. And in the center, it waited. The creature. Tall. Thin. Eyes burning with red fire. It did not move. It only watched. Then it spoke. You are one of us. Kyle shook his head. No, he said. I'm not. The creature tilted its head. You carry the blood, it whispered. You speak the language. You open the door. Kyle held up the necklace. I wear this to break the chain, he said. The creature laughed, a cold, empty sound. You cannot run from what you are. It raised one long arm. Pain exploded in Kale's head. More visions. His grandfather, the old man, the villagers, everyone who had tried to stop it. They all failed. But Kale was different. He didn't fight with weapons. He fought with will, with choice. He dropped to his knees, but he didn't scream. He looked at the creature and said, I choose to end this. The creature stopped. Its eyes flared. What? It asked. I won't be your key, Kyle said. I'll be your end. The necklace began to glow brighter. Red lines ran across Kale's skin like fire. The artifact pulsed. The door cracked. The sky screamed. The creature roared. No! Kale stood. His body burned with energy. He reached forward, placed his hand on the creature's chest. The moment he touched it, it screamed. A long, terrible sound, like 1,000 voices dying at once. Light burst from Kale's body. White, bright, pure. It filled the sky, the forest, the village, everything. Then silence, total silence. When the light faded, the door was gone. Only dust remained. No creature, no shadows, no whispers. Kyle was gone too. No sign, no trace. Just a single mark burned into the earth. A symbol, old, powerful, a seal. The village came back slowly. Lights turned on. People stepped outside. The forest stood still. The wind was warm again. The old man arrived last. He looked at the spot where Kale had stood, and he whispered, You were born from the legend. And now, you are it. From that day on, no travelers came, no strange lights, no missing people. But sometimes, when the night is very dark, a whisper floats on the wind. A name, soft, gone before you can catch it, and deep under the earth. Something sleeps once, more, forever sealed, by the one who dared to speak, the one who chose to fight. The legend no one dares to speak about.